welcome back to our channel. Today we will discuss on finance in the world that we now live in, which involves financial inclusion, what it means, how it works, and its effects in our world. What is financial inclusion? Financial inclusion means that individuals and businesses have access to useful and affordable financial products and services that meet their needs, transactions, payments, savings, credit, and insurance, delivered in a responsible and sustainable way. Financial inclusion has been identified as an enabler for 7 of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. The G20 committed to advance financial inclusion worldwide and reaffirmed its commitment to implement the G20 high-level principles for digital financial inclusion. The World Bank Group considers financial inclusion a key enabler to reduce extreme poverty and boost shared prosperity. Being able to have access to a transaction account is a first step toward broader financial inclusion, since a transaction account allows people to store money and send and receive payments. A transaction account serves as a gateway to other financial services, which is why ensuring that people worldwide can have access to a transaction account continues to be an area of focus for the World Bank Group, WBG. Most notably, it was the focus of the World Bank Group's Universal Financial Access 2020 initiative, which concluded at the end of 2020. Though many gains were made through this initiative, it is an indicator of the scale of the challenge that still more work remains to be done. But before we move on, if you like this video, hover down below to like the video and click the subscribe button and tap the bell icon. Financial access facilitates day-to-day living and helps families and businesses plan for everything from long-term goals to unexpected emergencies. As account holders, people are more likely to use other financial services, such as credit and insurance, to start and expand businesses, invest in education or health, manage risk, and weather financial shocks, which can improve the overall quality of their lives. The ongoing COVID-19 crisis has also reinforced the need for increased digital financial inclusion. Digital financial inclusion involves the deployment of the cost-saving digital means to reach currently financially excluded and underserved populations with a range of formal financial services suited to their needs that are responsibly delivered at a cost affordable to customers and sustainable for providers. Great strides have been made toward financial inclusion, and 1.2 billion adults worldwide have gotten access to an account between 2011 and 2017. As of 2017, 69% of the world's adults had an account. Digital financial services, including those involving the use of mobile phones, have now been launched in more than 80 countries, with some reaching significant scale. As a result, millions of formerly excluded and underserved poor customers are moving from exclusively cash-based transactions to formal financial services using a mobile phone or other digital technology to access these services. Moving from access to usage of accounts is the next step for countries where 80% or more of the population have accounts: China, Kenya, India, Thailand. These countries relied on reforms, private sector innovation, and a push to open low-cost accounts, including mobile and digitally enabled payments. However, close to one-third of adults, 1.7 billion, were still unbanked in 2017. According to the latest Fundex data, 2021 data forthcoming, about half of unbanked people included women, poor households in rural areas, or out of the workforce. If you like this video, click on the like button and subscribe and tap the bell icon to get notified of new video from our channel. Between 2011 and 2017, gender gap in account ownership remained stuck at 9 percentage points in developing countries, hindering women from being able to effectively control their financial lives. Countries with high mobile money account ownership had less gender inequality. The impact of the COVID-19 on this gender gap remains to be seen. Since 2010, more than 55 countries have made commitments to financial inclusion, and more than 60 have either launched or are developing a national strategy. Countries that have achieved the most progress toward financial inclusion have policies delivered at scale, such as Universal Digital ID India and Aadhaar/JDY accounts, more than 1.2 billion residents covered. Leveraged government payments. For example, 35% of adults in low-income countries receiving a government payment opened their first financial account for this purpose. allowed mobile financial services to thrive. For example, in sub-Saharan Africa, mobile money account ownership rose from 12% to 21%. Welcomed new business models, such as leveraging e-commerce data for financial inclusion. Taking a strategic approach by developing a National Financial Inclusion Strategy, NFIS, which bring together diverse stakeholders including financial regulators, telecommunications, competition and education ministries. Paying attention to consumer protection and financial capability to promote responsible, sustainable financial services. When countries take a strategic approach and develop national financial inclusion strategies which bring together financial regulators, telecommunications, competition and education ministries, our research indicates that when countries institute a national financial inclusion strategy, they increase the pace and impact of reforms. The World Bank Groups plays a critical role in advancing financial inclusion in the world since it can leverage its financial sector expertise, country engagement and dialogue, financing and risk-sharing instruments, unique datasets and research capacity and influences with standard-setting bodies and the G20. We have developed an integrated and unified approach in our work to help countries achieve financial access and responsible financial inclusion, which focuses on 5 intertwined pillars.
In this video, I'm going to teach you the 4 most important rules of money, which are the basics of being financially free, financially confident, and financially literate. These simple rules that I will give you today will elevate your money game and take you to a whole other level you've never seen before, as long as you're hungry and dedicated. I'm going to give you all of this information for free. I don't sell books, webinars, or online courses. All the knowledge on this channel is free, so if you want to show your appreciation, click that like button and the subscribe button right now. It is actually very fascinating how all this information is becoming more and more available every day, for very cheap or even for free. And everything is easily accessible with a couple of Google searches. So even if everything is at their fingertips, more than 90% of the population is still financially ignorant. Let me give you a quick example. Peter just got his monthly paycheck. After tax, he's left with $1,700. Instead of using this money to invest, save, or anything else that might be useful, he decides to waste it on a couple of barbecues with friends and many other useless liabilities. Are you a Peter? Because there are unfortunately a lot of financially ignorant people today. But the thing is, if they can change a few bad habits and develop a rich mindset, just about anyone can become rich. There are no rich people that are financially ignorant, except of course, for those that got lucky. For example, stumbling upon a large inheritance or winning the lottery. However, statistics show that 70% of lottery winners end up bankrupt after just a few years of being extremely rich. Why is that? Again, it all comes down to how financially educated one is. If you have a lot of money, you will still make bad decisions and lose it all because you don't know what to do with it. So, if you want to become rich long-term, and not just for a couple of years, you have to get financially educated. Unfortunately, this kind of education is not taught in schools, so you need to do it by yourself. So, all the information is easily accessible, and this raises the question, why don't people learn more about finance? There are 2 main reasons why people don't get the financial education they need, despite it being extremely cheap, and in some cases, completely and totally free. Reason number 1, conventional wisdom. Here's the truth, financial education is not conventionally okay. Most people will give you a mindset of scarcity, and if your mindset is wrong, you will never attract money. For example, growing up, your parents might have been telling you, money doesn't grow on trees, and money is the root of all evil. These lies that people tell their kids are stopping people from taking the necessary steps to a better life financially. Another conventional concept that is widely thought but is extremely wrong is the negative connotation towards debt. Debt is not that bad if you know how to use it, but still, people demonize it because they don't have the appropriate education. So, you have to stop listening to those that aren't financially literate and financially confident. You should start listening to those that actually know how to generate money, because they are the ones that can give you tips on how to become financially educated. We hope you learned a few things. If you're still here, then I bet you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We have regular finance videos that will help you grow abundantly, so stay tuned. With that said, I'll see you in the next one.